Hey, what's up everyone? It's time for another episode of Minivan Life. My past few videos have been about the outdoors experience, but this is going to be a materialistic video. I've bought some stuff that I got to show off, but first you might be wondering, why is there a fan bungee corded to the ceiling? Well, during the daytime I noticed that I was getting a lot of water dripping down from the console there. So today I finally got around to ripping that console off, and I took a look up in there, and the ceiling was just completely drenched with moisture. I think what's happening is at night when I'm breathing, it creates a lot of moisture into the air, and the diesel heater is blowing that warm, humid air up here, and it's absorbing up to the ceiling and freezing to the roof. And in the morning when the sun comes out, it thaws out and it starts dripping down. So I've got to make some changes here to help prevent that. I think I might cut a hole up through this ceiling and put a vent on there so I can get some airflow through there. But I've already made one small change at the back to help vent out the air during the night, so I'll show you that first. So this Max Air Mini Deluxe roof vent that I have, I just noticed that it's really dirty up in there. I gotta scrub it out soon. But from the factory, the fan only has one speed, fast and loud. I can't possibly sleep with that on, so I got a DC motor controller off Amazon. So now I can just dial it down and pretty much leave it on all night, and that should help exchange the air in here. So while I'm back here, I might as well show you another change that I made. I cut a hole through this wall and I put a vent on there with two computer fans inside. I can turn that on with this switch here, and when my diesel heater is running, that really helps to circulate the warm air throughout the entire vehicle, and it's much more comfortable back in here. But the main reason why I put that vent there is my lithium battery is sitting right on the other side of this wall. And if you guys know a thing or two about lithiums, you know that you can't charge them below freezing temperatures. And I'm up here in Canada, it's really cold, so I gotta be really careful to keep it warm in there. So this temperature probe used to be outside of the vehicle, but I moved it on top of the lithium battery so I can always keep an eye on what the temperature is there. So one thing about lithium batteries is that it's hard to tell by voltage alone what percentage your battery is at. 13.31 volts could mean anything from like 75% to 95%. With AGM lead acids, it's a little easier to tell. But with this battery monitor, I can keep an eye on how much energy I'm using during the day. It's got a Hall effect sensor, and I wired my inverter and my diesel heater through that. And with my charge controller, I can keep an eye on how much energy my solar panels are bringing in on a daily basis. Today I already got 16 amp hour and my battery's fully topped up. But when these snowstorms come in, I've had days where I've only got 3 amp hour. So I had to buy something else to help top up my battery. I'll show you that later. I bought a lot of stuff recently and I got to get back to work. I had an interview yesterday, and I'm really hoping they give me a call. But this is my home. I got to make sure that I'm going to survive. It's going to be negative 20 degrees this weekend. It's crazy out here. But for the past few weeks, I've been in energy saving mode in here. You know when you leave a light switch on and you get in trouble for it? That's what it's like in here, but there's real consequences that I wouldn't be able to run the heater. So I only charge up my laptop at the library, and I've got this power bank for my phone. But when it's negative 16 degrees Celsius out, I find just running the heater overnight, I can use up to 20 amp hour. So I don't know what happened to my AGM lead acid. Last month, all of a sudden, it just didn't seem to have any capacity to it. But it was on warranty, so I took it into the shop and I got a free exchange for a new one. But for whatever reason, the new one that they gave me didn't work either. So I spent 2 days at the shop and they ran all their tests on it and they couldn't find anything wrong with it. They tried to blame my solar panels and say I wasn't getting enough energy into it, but I know that wasn't the case. I can keep an eye on exactly how much energy I'm getting, so I decided to just sell that battery and let someone else figure it out. So from there, I decided to take the plunge on a lithium battery. I've heard that the Battleborns are the best in the business. They've got that built-in temperature cutoff switch. That's something that I really wish that I had. But in order to get one of those batteries in Canada, you're just spending a ridiculous amount of money. So whenever I can find a local company here in Canada, that's the one I go for. So I was happy to find that a company called Linac was selling lithium batteries here in Canada. So I went for their 100 amp hour model. So yeah, here's what it looks like, and it's been working great for me. That right there is the temperature sensor that I mentioned earlier, but I'm not gonna lie, at this point I pretty much have a red-green level of wiring. I got so much stuff piled up in the terminals, but whatever, it works. And that right there is the Hall effect sensor, so I can keep track of how much energy that I'm using. And this is the other thing that I bought, 20 amp DC to DC battery charger. I know I've talked a lot about isolators in the past, but these are a whole lot more gentle on your alternator, and especially when you're using a lithium battery, you can't pair that with an isolator because the chemistry of it, it'll just absorb way too much energy and you'll burn out your alternator. But for those days, if it's like negative 20 degrees Celsius out and I'm going to be away all day, I put this cutoff switch on my solar so I can just completely turn it off and be safe. Well, I think that's just about everything for now. I gotta figure out what to do with my ceiling now so it doesn't get all moldy up in there. But hopefully next time we talk, I'll have a job. It's time to hunker down and make some cash. But I'm thinking next summer I'd like to take off on a van life adventure, explore all of Banff and Jasper, maybe even drive all the way up to Yukon. That'd be cool if I could park in Whitehorse, then maybe bike the new highway up to Tuktoyaktuk or the Canola Trail. Who knows? I gotta figure all this stuff out. But anyways, thanks for watching, and thanks for all your support on Patreon. And I'll see you in the next video. There was actually something else that I wanted to share. A couple weeks ago, my front wheel bearing went bad, and the shop that I went to, the total price that they gave me was just crazy, like almost $900 to do the job. I don't know if it was because I was in an expensive town up in the mountains or what, but I noticed that he also picked out the most expensive part. But something else that I learned about that is that when you buy a part from a mechanic, you aren't paying retail price. You marked it up by another $70, but I'm not really complaining about that. That's just how the industry is. He's got bills to pay, so that is what it is. But for someone like me on a budget and capable of doing stuff myself, I realized that for a quarter of the price I could buy all the tools and the part and do it myself. I may not have the same peace of mind of having a professional mechanic do it, but some of these jobs are actually really easy to do and you can save yourself a lot of money.